So we're going to create a video in which we include goals from students and teachers at the Academy of Urban Planning. The first thing that we're going to want to do is make sure that we watch all of these videos so we're familiar with them and we know which quotes we want to extract and include in this short narrative. So next we need to import the videos. To do that, you're going to want to click on this folder where it says video in the drop down menu, and when you click the folder it's going to take a second for it to open, but when it does you can select multiple videos at once. So I've got 15 already imported. I'm going to click goals 16 and you can watch previews of it down here, but I'm going to hold off on that for a second. I'm going to hold shift because I'm going to import a whole bunch at the same time. I'm going to click open and press OK. And when we do that, I can see that they are uploading as we speak. How else can we import media? In addition to clicking on this folder, what I can do is jump to File and then Insert Media to Library. And this is our media, our library area over here. So I'm going to insert video. We can do digital media, images, and audio, which we'll do quite a bit later, but I'm going to click video. And I've got 24 videos. You can select multiple ones. I'll click 25, wait a second, and bam, there's 25. So just like Windows Movie Maker, I'm going to click an image and drag it down. And when we do that, we can press play. And it's a little bit different. Okay. So this individual is still trying to determine what his dream is. To extract to select and delete certain areas of this clip, what I'm going to want to do is click on these scissors right here. You can press Control-I as well, and when we do that, it breaks up the clip. I'm going to press delete, and that initial part of the video is now gone. So I'm about maybe halfway through this little video, and as you can see, I've got maybe 8 or 9 clips. I'm going to show you how to edit out the laughter, edit out all the miscues, and here's an example. So what I'm going to do, and even though it's black, I know that this one right here is of Lishka Roberts, and when I double click on it, this window pops up. It's a single clip trim and an easy way to edit out what we don't want. So when I click play, we hear my voice, and we don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back, and when I sort of click along the slider, it breaks it down, and I can see that she's sort of right here. Let's see, right here, she's getting ready to talk, and she's quiet. So what I'm going to do, leave her right there, and I'm going to click on this marking, and when I do that, what's going to happen is everything that comes before it is eliminated. So when I press play, excellent. So that goes on for a little bit too long, so I'm going to cut off the end. So I can see she's talking, she's talking, she's talking, she's talking, and it looks like she's finished. So now I'm going to click the mark out. And as we can see, everything on the left and the right side are now eliminated. I'm going to press OK. I'm going to then drag it down to the timeline. I'm going to press play. Beautiful. This is coming along quite nice. Another way to edit elements we don't want is to click on the clip and then click play right over here where it says project clip, and we can watch a preview. So he's laughing, he's getting comfortable. We don't want to include that. Great, so I'm going to click the mark out, so it's going to, everything after that will be deleted. And I know it's right around the 12-second mark because what I'm doing is I'm watching the time code, this digital clock right there. Looks like right there. So let's see what it looks like. That's great. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to drag it down, and just to preview once again, start right here, the end of Hernelli's, and we'll see it transition.
I want to change the world by being a video game designer and inspiring all the gamers of the world.
Great. So I've edited my clips and I've called out all of the laughter and the craziness, and it's looking pretty good. Now if I click on this magnifying continuum, we can see that we've got either the clips very big, so I can see precisely where they are along this timeline in case I want to delete it. I can zoom out, and what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to sort of rearrange it so that the clips transition well into one another. And what I mean by that is I don't want one section of just teachers. I want them sort of sprinkled throughout. So I'm going to I'll click on Miss Haynes right here, and I'll sort of drag her over here. I'm going to click, here we got John Lantigua, I'll drag him to the beginning. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the top of the timeline, and I'll press play, and I'll see what it looks like so far. So how do we add names? How do we add text to our images? Here we've got Jose Quinones. Here we've got John Lantigua, and we can see that the text pops in and out. Pretty easy to do. How does it work? Below the video track, we have the title track. And what we're going to want to do is click on the timeline where we want to add text. So here I see Mr. Evans is speaking, and it's approximately 5 seconds long. So I'm going to click on the title track, this level, double click, and up here it says double click to add a title, to add text. I'm going to write Mr. Evans, and I don't need to press enter. Actually, I'm going to click off of his name, so we see this, and then I can click and drag, and I can put the text anywhere I want. I'll put it right there. That looks pretty good. And then what I can do is simply shift over, and this is going to be, this is a great example right here. So I'm going to double click, and I see that Leo's goal, his life ambition, is pretty brief. So I'm going to do is type his name correctly. I'm going to click off the page, or off the name rather, and when I see that, the default is like looks like 3 seconds or something, so it's going to extend onto other clips. So when I press play, his name sort of bleeds over onto Madison's. Easily remedied. If I click on the text itself, click on the right side, I can shorten it so it fits just his clip. Pretty easy. Now, one more recommendation. When we add text, what I'm going to suggest that you guys do is add a stroke. So the default is just white. So how does that work? On the right hand side where it says edit, we see a few options. We're going to want to click on border shadow transparency. When we do that, we've got a number of options. I'm going to click outer stroke border, just like in Photoshop, and I'm going to make the border width 2 or 3. So if we make it 6, we see the black line is greater. I'm going to keep it, we'll keep it around 2 or 3. I'm going to press OK. I'm going to shift over his name, toolbar right there, and you can, it's up to your discretion how long you want the text to be. Now, one last thing, when I'm looking at this text, I see that there's not a lot of contrast between his name and the logo on his shirt. So I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to move it up some, right there. And now let's see if it's a little bit more distinguished. Much better. So you can see that I have added all the names to this little movie, and including on images where there are 2 people, you just got to double click twice, as you can see illustrated right here and right here. Now, one of the cool things about Corel Video Studio Pro is that when adding text, it auto locks in at the end of a clip. So here we've got Jesus Santos, and it locks, bam, at the end of the clips. I'm going to be sealing up all of these so that there's no delay between when the text starts and the video ends. Click and drag, and you can see that it seals automatically. So I want to add some audio. To do that, what I'm going to do is go to File, Insert Media, File to Library, and go to Insert Audio. And when we do that, I've got a few MP3s here. I'm going to click on this one, and you can select whatever music you want to, whatever music that suits your needs. And I'm going to click and drag it to the layer right beneath the title track that says Voice Track, which can be any audio. Alternatively, you can drag it down one more further to the music track, and I'll leave it there so we don't get confused for future projects. And so I can click now above the video track, and we can see what this looks like. I like that. What I want to do is knock down the audio a notch because it's a little bit loud. So I've got this selected, and I'm going to drag it all the way down to about around 30. So it's not quite as dominant before, because when the music's really loud, it has a tendency to sort of overwhelm or drown out the voice. Alright, to wrap up this video, all we need to do is add the closing credits. So what I'm going to do is switch to the title tab. This is where we can add text, and if I click on this little notch right here, the down arrows, we can maximize the library of all the text effects, but I'm going to minimize because I know exactly the one I want. It's this one right here, and I'm going to click in it, and I can see in the left hand side, this is the animation I want to include. So I'm going to drag it down to the timeline, and I'm going to include it right after Jose's last words, and I'm going to double click on it, and when I do that, this is going to open up, and I'm going to double click again, and if I press Control A, everything is selected, of course, and I'm going to press Control V because I already know what I want included. There we go. And I'm going to switch it over, and I don't think it really matters precisely where you have it because it's going to start scrolling from the bottom. So what I'll do is I'll press play, and we'll see how it looks. Okay, so clearly want to fix that a little bit, make a few edit changes. If we want to lengthen the duration of the clip of these credits, I'm going to click and drag from what looks like 10 to about 14 seconds, and you can adjust that. Finally, what I'm going to do is click on the audio, press Control I, press delete, and that's going to conclude our video. When we're done, we do need to save this video, so you're going to switch from audio to share, number 3. We're going to click on create video file, and we've got quite a few export options. I'm going to click on DV, short for digital video, and I'm just going to do 4:3. I'm going to save this as Mr. Drozd Dreams, and it's an AVI file, which is great. You're going to save as first name, last name, Dreams. I'm going to go to my folder. For now, I'll just save it on my desktop, click save, and we'll watch it being rendered. Good luck.